The church has a distinctiveness that rings with much historical sound. The preaching, dancing, shouting, singing, and fellowship reaches deeper than intellect. The entire worship experience seems to connect with the soul, an experience filled with passion, joy, and freedom. Churches throughout history have experienced depression and even physical bondage, yet God brought them through to live spiritually free. Discovering the history of the church may reveal more information about the past than where we are now. But the question is, what steps does the past and present provide for the church to move forward today? In Raleigh, North Carolina, still sitting on a hill 149 years later, a fast-growing church looks to uncover more of its history and contribute to the blueprint for the generations to come. And it all begins with the founders who acted faithfully upon the vision God gave them that continues to live on. Today, we are here at the Older Baptist Grove Sanctuary, meeting with Janet Peoples, a fifth-generation descendant of one of the church's founders, and Marvin Motley, the Baptist Grove historian, who was also a fifth-generation descendant. Their extensive research will provide a little more insight into who some of the founders are. And joining them in conversation is memoirist and poet Deacon N. Smith.
So I have roots that run deep, Baptist Grove, because my great-great-grandfather, Claiborne Fletcher, was one of the founders. Claiborne Fletcher was a unique individual when I did my research on him. He was an emancipated slave, and when he was emancipated, there were three things that he wanted to do, to accomplish, and he accomplished them. Mm-hmm. First, to buy land, to get land to farm, to feed his family of 3 girls and a wife. And the second thing that he did was bought land, took some of his land and assigned a school for it, Fletcher's Grove School, that it was located on the corner of Ray and Strickland. He accomplished that, and that was to educate the black kids in the community. And then the third thing he did was to be one of the founders of Baptist Grove Church.
I think it's interesting to know, where did the land that Claiborne Fletcher was able to obtain, where did that land come from? How did he come about?
Well, he paid for it. Yeah. Now, I think he bought that 100 acres in 1879. Mm-hmm. Now, he had his family before the emancipation. They were not born in, they were born in slavery. Mm-hmm. That's what I noticed. They were actually born in slavery. His wife was named Rainey. So he had maybe a kind of a freedom before he was emancipated. He bought that 100 acres in 1879 for $539.
A lot of money.
And that was a whole lot of money. He had to really save. He had to work and save to get that. So I say he was a tremendous and determined person.
Claiborne Fletcher certainly was determined. To hear that as an emancipated slave, he was one of the founders of Baptist Grove Church is enlightening. Looking at the fruit of what they have established, it is clear they loved God and loved others, and that is what Baptist Grove continues to carry forward even today.
My name is Loretta Grissom Partlow, and I've been in Baptist Grove for 65 years. I've been in this church all my life, and we were a little church on the hill. That was the church, the little white church on the hill. Everybody was raised with everybody, so everybody knew everybody in the church when they came to church on Sunday. And like I said, my mom and dad had us all in church every Sunday as growing up.
My name is Carl Chavez. I've been a member of Baptist Grove Church since 1957, 66 years. And I served on the trustee board for 27 years. Some of my ancestors, Turners, Chavez, they were founders of this church.
My name is Gracie Leathers Young, and I've been at Baptist Grove over 75 years.
Good morning, Baptist Grove Church. I'm Deacon Emeritus Sundar Fleming. I've been a member of Baptist Grove Church since 1987, or 36 years. My wife, however, was born into this church as her family, the Turner family, one of the original founders of the church.
My name is Linda Turner Fleming, and my great-great-great-grandfather, Henry Turner, was one of 4 founders that purchased land for Baptist Grove Church.
Right here, where this church is at, it was a white house. It was a white house right here, this church, where this church is built. And it was two elderly people lived there. And like I said, my dad, he got to know those people. And they want to buy the land so they could build this church.
Well, my mom and dad, they both sang in the choir because we went all over everywhere when they had to sing, That's when churches had church anniversaries and people would come sing, so we were all over. When homecoming came, everybody brought a bowl of food, or everybody's food was put together, and that's where you stayed that whole day on Sunday at the homecoming service. Children playing, the adults serving food and doing the adult things, but that's my fondest memory of being in church.
There was 2 trees out there by the corner of this white church, but the church wasn't there. And they would nail tables, go from one tree to the other. And that's where we had our homecoming picnic, homecoming dinner. You eat out in this one's basket, you eat out in that one's basket. And, it was a good, big, happy family. Singing and worship service, then we'd go out and we'd have dinner, and biggest thing, young boys like I was, we just run and play,
On those 2 Sundays, we went to other churches. Everybody just fellowship together, just like one big church.
It was 10 of us, siblings. So my mother made us come to church every Sunday, and you knew all the families that was in the church at that time. You knew everybody because it was a neighborhood church.
Baptist Grove has always been a family church. And when I say family, I'm not saying that everyone there is related. I'm saying that as a member of Baptist Grove, you become part of a family that loves God, a family that loves each other, and a family that loves to provide service.
It was a self-supported community where everybody helped everybody. And there was Jeffers Grove, there was Piney Grove, Hickory Grove. All the different churches came together, and you may have heard this before, but we worshiped together. We had the picnics and the anniversary parties, and I call them parties because they weren't just celebrations. They had a good time, and they came together. They celebrated the harvest. They celebrated and worshiped. It was a self-supported, self-sufficient community.
We prayed.
Yes.
Prayer, first of all, is what started from the very beginning. From the very beginning, we've always known to pray. and always believed that God would make a way when we didn't even know what we were doing. But when I think of those men and women who were here and had little or nothing but made something of it, and for young people to hear this and to know this, that's why I sort of just, I don't like the fact that it was not in our books. None of this was shared with us, even as I grew up in Mississippi. That was not in my history books to know that history. And had I not had people to share like it's been shared today, to bring back those memories and see myself now today, what God has done in our lives, He'll do the same for you.
Yeah, and this new generation. The one
youth
immersion, yeah. So when you start to groom them early, what you see later is a commitment, hopefully, that is going to be sustained. So I think Baptist Grove is in a good place.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the pastor.
And I just want young people to know about, I won't even call it the struggle. While it was a struggle, you know, it just didn't seem like that.
No, it didn't.
It just didn't seem
There
like.
was a lot of things you just look forward to.
Yeah, it looked like it just happened. I mean, and again, if you think about the prayer that happened on the front end, it was going to be blessed anyway. It's not just our local community. We do the online BGC anywhere. So we're doing outreach in all kinds of ways that we've not done in the past.
Okay,
So
that's
I
excellent.
think that we're onto something good here.
To see a church as healthy and alive as it was 149 years ago is no coincidence and exhibits the truth that God certainly can do exceedingly and abundantly above all we could ever ask or imagine. Their history reinforces the importance of having a strong foundation to live in faith, live in fellowship, and live to serve. To be a home where the ethos of the church family can flourish and love can fully abide.
And so, by the grace of God and the wonder of His Word, we live in faith, we fellowship, and with His might we serve. Our church has weathered the years, blessed with promises good and kind, and today, thank God, by favor, grace, and mercy, we're recognizing and celebrating 149. From a bush arbor under a grove of trees and the little white house on the hill, look and see God's goodness as He resides here, even still. One generation shall commend your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts. On the glorious splendor of your majesty and on your wondrous works, I will meditate. From a generation of freed slaves who had little in their hands, but always trusted God, even as they prayed for land, to give back and always acknowledge God's awesome power first, so that worship, prayer, and praise would spring forth from His church. Don't underestimate the character of that generation. They were smart with skills and looked after each other in the community and the congregation. They were craftsmen, honed in building, handling simple tools, then went on to learn more in segregated schools. There was a prominent medical practitioner right within their midst, a midwife who delivered their children. She should be remembered and join others on the list. There were educators, preachers, homemakers, and even a North Carolina state archivist who raised the bar for others, learning and then teaching, being accountable sisters and brothers. A portrait of one of our founders still hangs with honor on the walls at Jeffreys Grove Magnet School. With pride, we recognize his obedience to follow the golden rule. More accolades about him and others are recorded from descendants here today. History happening and made here. Lessons we have learned and treasure, and thank God when we pray. Their legacy, along with others, gives us purpose for the path we seek. And for their dreams and prayers they prayed, we're here strong and blessed each week. We've shared so many blessings right here in this place. That's why our praise is evident of God's amazing grace. This multi-purpose building and the original sanctuary with much going on inside, and even on the grounds around, the Baptist Grove Church family still survives. We're still trusting and believing, thanking God each day for this phenomenal, uncommon community He's allowed us to become today. Oh yes, we'll have challenges trying to figure things out, how we are to continue kingdom building in seasons of plenty and abundance, and even in seasons of drought. Those early years were lean. People didn't have very much, but they trusted in God and prayed and waited for His touch. A touch to bless their families and keep them from all harm, and bless the church He planted, keeping them in His arms. We survived a national pandemic, but that was nothing new. Our ancestors survived so much more, yet our God brought them through. And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work. And further, you will be enriched in every way to be generous in every way, which through us will produce thanksgiving to God. For the ministry of this service is not only supplying the needs of the saints, but is overflowing in many thanksgivings to God. And so this ministry is defended to show God's favor and loving care. For 149 years, the proclamation has been followed with faith, praise, and prayer. So celebrate we will, but never forgetting the journey that got us here today. We've got the blueprints in hand for more work to be done, and more is coming our way. Because of the surpassing grace of God upon you, upon us, thanks be to God for His inexpressible gift.
I hope to see Baptist Grove grow and get the facility that we are looking forward to getting, and draw more people to Christ, and just have a big family here.
I hope it keep growing. I hope we get our new building. And I hope that the love keeps growing bigger and bigger. God is love, so that's what we need. I just hope it grow and keep getting bigger and people keep loving each other.
I believe that we all are living in the dreams of my grandfather, Henry Turner, Mr. Claiborne Fletcher, Mr. Sidney Mitchell, and Mr. Jim Chavis. And I believe that we stand on the shoulders of every person that has ever lived. Happy anniversary, Baptist Grove. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. God bless.